Welcome to What is Crypto? I'm Matt and this is Crypto. Today I'm going to be talking to you again about DXY. Now this is the US Degen Index. If you're not familiar, don't know what you're doing, you must be new to the channel as I cover this one a lot, but this is definitely one of my most bullish picks for this bull run. And in the video, I will tell you why. But before we get into it, let's have a look at Bitcoin. So Bitcoin on the daily, as you can see, we were in this bull flag pattern. So after we had a parabolic price run up, then we were in this flag pattern. Now, after we broke out of that, once again, parabolic price growth. Now, since that, we have been in this range with our key levels between 120,000 and 116,000. Now, it is a pretty tight range, and I am actually liking what we're seeing. We had a deviation below, and unless we start getting confirmations below, I would expect us to test the top end of this range before likely flipping on up. Now, I think there are a couple of other reasons why I think this is going to happen, and that goes into the 4-year cycle and a bunch of other stuff. One of those is Bitcoin dominance. So if we want to have a look at Bitcoin dominance and what Bitcoin dominance has previously done, looking at the 2017 bull run, you can see that there was this sharp drop off in Bitcoin dominance. Now, a sharp drop off in Bitcoin dominance correlates with altcoin season, as when we have a drop off in Bitcoin dominance, that in essence means that altcoins are outperforming Bitcoin. So when Bitcoin dominance is going up, that's bad for altcoins, and when Bitcoin dominance is going down, that is good for altcoins. And as you can see, we have these massive sharp drop-offs that kind of happen out of nowhere. Now, what are we seeing at the moment? Looking in, we have been in this uptrend really since 2022. 3 years of going up. Now, we have had the largest drop off in Bitcoin dominance though since November 24, where we had a similar level. And apart from that, it's the largest drop off in Bitcoin dominance really since May 2022. What am I expecting to see? Well, I am expecting to see this break out of this channel at some stage. I think that is likely now. It is definitely at the lower end of this. And if we see on Bitcoin dominance a move like this, you can expect your altcoins to go absolutely parabolic. So these are kind of my levels of Bitcoin dominance of what I'm looking at. This is how strongly I value Bitcoin dominance. I think that selling when Bitcoin dominance is in the green is quite safe. Selling when it's in the orange, it gets a little bit more risky, but your returns will be higher. And selling in the red will be max returns, but obviously there is no guarantee we will get to the red zone. So yeah, that is just a little bit of what I'm looking at with Bitcoin dominance, looking for Bitcoin dominance to break down, which will be good for altcoins. Also looking at the S&P 500, the SPX, absolutely cooking. So SPX is breaking out, absolutely running. And when this does happen, we know this is good for our altcoins. So love to see that. Also love to see that the US dollar has broken down. So US dollar since January has been in a downtrend. We have just come into a little bit of support. I would love to see us break down below this. I don't think we need to, but if we do, it'll be good for our altcoin bags. These two circles are previously when we've had our cycle tops, 2017 bull run and 2021 bull run. So there is an inverse correlation with the strength of the US dollar and risk on assets. Also, Ethereum, more importantly than Bitcoin, Ethereum absolutely sending. Now, this is a beautiful thing to see. We are coming up into the top end of a range, so there is a little bit of resistance. But after we clear these levels, I think it is going to be largely smooth sailing for crypto. So altcoins especially, absolutely going to cook. As soon as we do flip these levels, we're going to go to all-time highs, might chop around there for a bit before we have our final push higher. That is what I'm seeing at the moment, and that's kind of what I am looking out for. Alrighty, let's get into the point of the video, and that is to talk DXY. Before we talk DXY, we need to talk about why it's such a bullish narrative. So we need to talk about SPX6900. So SPX6900, it is one of the most bullish meme coins this cycle. Murad made it popular with his meme coin super cycle thesis, and this is his most bullish pick. Its goal is to flip the S&P 500, which has a market cap of around 52 trillion. Crazy high numbers. So this is a mimetic shift away from TradFi, and it is in essence that flippening of TradFi with the most mimetic solution possible. So SPX6900, I think the narrative is damn strong. What are we seeing on the charts? Well, currently it's got a market cap of just under 2 billion at 1.8 billion. Yes, billion with a B. And we have just formed this bullish cup and handle pattern, which as you would know is a bullish continuation pattern to the upside. What am I looking for when I'm looking at SPX crushing it? I'm looking for the next SPX. Now, I'm not saying one that is going to go to market caps as high as SPX, as Murad thinks this is going to 100 billion. And even if it only goes to 25, 50 billion, crazy numbers from here. I am looking at a little bit further down the risk curve. I am looking at lower market cap plays that have a good chance of being that beta play to SPX 6900. For me, I can't go past US Degen Index 6900. Now, I've talked about it a lot, but the ticker DXY, it's the same as the ticker for the US dollar index, and this is the US Degen Index. Very clever. I also like that the contract address starts in OX69 and ends in 69 with that mimetic number 69. I also like the fact that the liquidity is locked. It has a huge amount of liquidity and the contract is clean. All of the things that we want to see are there. So I think that as money flows down the risk curve and searches for the next SPX, money will logically flow to a handful of meme coins. Now, there are not many in the stock to meme space. I list just a couple as DXY is my favorite by far, but below SPX, we have GameStop, which I do like as a coin. We have MSTR, which hasn't been doing an enormous amount at all. We have NASDAQ 420, which has a bullish community and they've been doing really well. So hats off to them. We have DXY, my personal favorite, and we have SPX 2.0, which has recently just had a pretty big price bleed. Below that, we've got a couple of other coins like the Volatility Index, MEXC, based SPX 6900. And we do have a new one actually that I would be remiss of me not to mention. So this is a Dow Jones one, Doge. But yeah, in essence, there are a handful of plays. There are less than 10 beta plays to SPX 6900. Compare that to the Pepeverse where there are about 2,000-3,000 different plays. So many. I think there's about 10 different Andys. So many different plays in the Pepeverse. Whereas in the stock to meme narrative, there are very few. Now, I've been in this one a long period of time. I chat to the team regularly and they have been absolutely cooking. So we got in somewhere around that 500K and it ran up to 1.6 and then I held all the way down and was DCAing and accumulating all this period of time. If you're in my Discord, you would know that it's been my most bullish pick and I've talked about it nonstop for absolutely ages. So love this coin and it has been cooking of late. Now I like the narrative so much I wrote a thread on it the other day. So I'll read a couple of highlights from that, but follow me on Twitter if you aren't, MattyBoy9619. So we talked about it being a beta to SPX 6900. We talked about money flowing down, looking for the next SPX 6900. And that while the meme coin space is highly saturated, the stock to meme narrative is not. Less than 10 genuine contenders with DXY being my pick. So we've got the same ticker as the US dollar index, the contract as we talked about OX69 and ends in 69. And we have the narrative of forming a new currency for the degens. Our money is being worth less and less each year. It is a very real issue of a loss of purchasing power, the debasement of currency. This is a new degenerate currency with a finite supply. There will never be more than 1 billion DXY tokens out there. Bullish. And the goal of DXY is to flip the dollar, which occurs at a market cap of 1 bill. So as there are 1 billion tokens, when their market cap gets to 1 billion, their token price will get to $1. And at that point, every DXY token will be worth as much, if not more, than $1 US. So I love that narrative, the flipping the dollar. SPX is trying to flip a $52 billion S&P 500, which is a pretty big ask, although I think it's going to absolutely crush it. DXY solely wants to get to $1 billion, flip the dollar, and then from there, they can flip it 69 times. But their first goal is to get to that dollar. So yeah, very, very damn bullish on the dollar for all the degens out there. And super bullish on the community. All you need to do is have a look down. This stuff is all made by the community. The community is making all of this content, not paying for content to be made. Yeah, these are being made by people who genuinely believe in the mission. There is a lot of cool stuff going on out there and some people are just starting to notice DXY. We have some pretty big content creators that are starting to mention DXY. Just in the last couple of weeks, we've had Evka Wolf mention DXY in one of her posts. We had 100x Crypto Gems make some YouTube content on DXY, and we've had Depressed Ginger also make a bunch of content on DXY as well. So there are content creators that are looking for DXY. People are coming, money is going to flow into DXY, and I think you want to position yourself accordingly. All right, legends, that's going to wrap it up for me today. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Also, if you want to join my Discord where we've called absolute bangers, then make sure you do so. We've called multiple 10x bangers in the last 2 months alone. So it's 100% free to join. Scroll down, click the link, and I'll see you there. Cheers, legends. I appreciate it. I appreciate you, and I'll catch you in the next one.